What's up guys, this is Theo with Fino Concepts, and today we are going to be looking at creating lights in Adobe Photoshop. This is a project from what we did in the previous episode, so I'll just merge these images, make them one. Now you could watch the previous episode if you want to learn how to blur the background of this image. Okay, now for creating lights, the first one we are going to look at is using the exposure. Now I'll bring up my lasso tool right here, then I'm just going to click on this portion here, click on this portion here, and probably this part as well. So we are going to make it appear like we have the sun coming from this direction. So when I close it up, now we have this selection right here. So I'll go to our adjustments layer or panel right here. I'll just click and move to exposure. So exposure, then the properties panel is going to pop up. Then I'll probably increase it here, so we could increase our exposure right here. I'll just set it to maybe 0.25. so you realize that this part of the image is overexposed, almost as if there's light coming from that portion. So maybe we should increase it to probably 50. Yeah, we hit OK. Now you could do this a couple of times. So let me just click, drag, let's click over these portions. Now I'm going to make this smaller than the previous one, so that the brightness appears to be fading out as it increases. Now with this one too, I'm going to set it to probably 83 is too much, so 0.50 again. Then I'll just hit on OK. Now once this is done, you can create as many as you want, but I'll just create 2 for this tutorial. Once this is done, we just click on any of the exposures, we'll go to filter, then we'll go to blur, then Gaussian blur. So we are going to blur this part out so that it appears like a real image. Now you notice that, let me cancel it. You notice that right now it's just a line. You see, this is not professional. So let's blur this up. I think 5 is okay, or let's just, yeah, I think 5 is okay. So if I hit OK, then it blurs that portion for us. Now I'm going to apply the same effect to this layer too. So instead of going back here and selecting Gaussian blur, I'm just going to hold down Control and press F. Now this is going to apply the same filter on the image right here. So for the first part, this is how to create a light. Now let me just group these two. If I toggle this off, you notice that we've created some sort of light over this particular portion. So let's delete that up. The second one is we'll create a new layer. Then with our lasso tool again, we are just going to create some fake sunlight over at this portion. So I'm going to make this seem like these are the rays of the sun. So when I close this part up, I'm going to bring up my paint bucket tool. With my foreground color set to white, I'll just paint over this portion. So let's deselect. Now I'll go to filter and apply the Gaussian blur. This time around, I don't know if I'm actually going to use 5. That's why I went back. So I'm just going to set it to probably let me see, 10 is not okay, so increase it to 20 pixel. I think 20 is okay, so I'll hit OK. Then I'll reduce the opacity slightly to about 70% or probably 60%. Now this looks like we have the sunlight coming from this portion as well. So hold on for a second. Okay, so this is the second trick you could use. Now let's delete this layer and create a new layer. Now this layer we are going to use the paint bucket tool again, but we are going to set it to the entire color to black. Now you don't always have to use the paint bucket. You could just go to the adjustments layer, you fill it with a solid color. The solid color is going to be your black, so you just hit OK and we are good. I'm just going to delete this layer right here. So you go to filter, then you go to render. Now at render you select lens flare. So with lens flare selected, oh yeah, okay, then here you have a few options you could use. You could increase the brightness, you could select other options as well. We could go with this one, so I'll increase the brightness to about 150. Then I'll click and drag this portion right here. We want the sunlight to be coming from the top left corner. So once I'm done, I'll just hit on OK. Okay, now we are going to change the blend mode of this particular layer right here to soft light. Now you notice that we are getting this, if I click and drag, you could notice that we're getting this sunlight effect or lightning effect coming from this portion. We could also use a different lens blur. So let me delete this one up. Go to filter, render, lens flare. Oh yeah, I forgot to set it to black. There was nothing there, that's why it gave me the prompt. So render, lens flare. Then this time I'm just going to use the first one, then increase the brightness to still 150. Hit OK. You change your blend mode to soft light, or you could also use screen as well. Now I think screen is much better. Hit enter on the keyboard and we have another lightning effect or lighting effect. Now the third thing is, basically, if you do not want to go through this entire stress, if you just create a new layer, then with your foreground color set to white, you could bring up your brush tool, you right click, then you make sure you've selected the soft brush or soft round brush. You increase your size to, I don't know, probably 500 pixels, and I'll hit enter. Now I could just bring it to the corner right here, then click. Now this will essentially create lights for you. So if you want multiples of these, you could just go to your Windows panel, then you make sure that this is checked, brush, which is F5. So at this portion I could just work with it. Why is this not coming up? The brush tool selected, you could change the shape dynamics. I'm just going to change the shape dynamics, scattering. I'm going to increase it all the way to 100%. 1000%, I mean, then I'll just be brushing over this portion. So this is going to create several lights for me. I could reduce the size, then yeah, we're getting this lighting effect over at this portion as well. So thank you guys for watching this video, and give it a thumbs up if you liked it. You could also dislike it, but please don't. Then leave a comment below if you have any questions, and subscribe to our channel because we have a lot of upcoming videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one.